give you to the count of time's up! I'm on a roll! And hugify! Everyone goes boom!
Listen up, I've got a nice stinky misplay-filled match for you right here. I will be showing you how some of the tips from the Lulu Jinx in-depth deck guide video can help you to tear up the competition. So if you haven't seen that video, watch it from the card above and come back to this one for the full effect. This is the list that was used in this video, but I got a slightly better version with rummage in the description below. Try hard. I like the combo of Zornite and Jury Rig. This is useful for cycling and getting on the board. Bird is amazing into the mirror, especially when it hits key units like Daring Poro, Flame Chompers and Jinx to make her harder to remove. Most of the time, Jinx isn't kept in the opening hand. But since I have a turn 1 and turn 2 play and Bird has a chance to buff Jinx out of Get Excited range, I should have kept it. The opponent kept the 2 middle cards of their starting hand here. We will keep an eye on them in order to do some hand reading as the game goes on. I should have played Bird on turn 2 or later, so that the chances of its chime hitting something more impactful would be higher. Also Urchin plus Jury Rig would be able to create a bad block for the opponent's turn 1 Bird. Even a Flame Chompers would have been a good hit for the chime in this matchup, as a Vund3r can trade down with one of their many 1 health units and still live. I tried to discard the Flame Chompers to introduce the chance of the chime hitting a Daring Poro, but sadly, it didn't work out. It hitting a 2-1 like a Zornite Urchin doesn't do that much for me in this matchup. Them using Pokey Stick on Scrap Scuttler was a bad play here. They could have saved it for better stuff like Chump Block, then Pokey to remove my Lulu for example, or to remove a Daring Poro to prevent me from buffing it later down. But, from that Pokey Stick play, we can make a guess that their current hand does not have a 2 or less cost unit, or they are discarders that would be awkward to play right now. I really was overestimating him right here. I was expecting a 0-mana Flame Chompers through Poro Cannon here, which is why I passed and did not play my Lulu. Even if I was waiting for something good to discard, it wouldn't be a good play. On this turn I should have just bit the bullet. I could have played Squeaker and let it discard the Daring Poro. That way, I can keep putting out pressure. Even if he hit it, they are required to pull the 3-2 Zornite Urchin so that Lulu doesn't die to it on attack. Daring Poro is a better discard than the Scrap Heap is because our hand looks low on value and we don't have Jinx. From this play we could read that he does not have Poro Cannon plus Flame Chompers in his current hand, since he didn't do that. The musing Get Excited on the Lulu is pretty good for me, since it doesn't go on my Nexus or Jinx. Here, I put the tiny spear on Yordle Squire so that Lulu cannot block and survive. An alternate line was putting tiny spear on Flame Chompers to challenge and kill the Scrap Scuttler. This could make a sneezy Bill Dust on their side worse. They could have blocked with flame chompers and not have taken that much damage anyway. Even if they blocked with Lulu, all I would have needed was to send another card to block Lulu and she would have died. Another consideration was that I needed proper discard fodder and I should not have used Tiny Spear at all. I think the best option was keeping Tiny Spear as discard fodder for Squeaker or Scrap Heap. From watching the card they kept in their opening hand, I see that they kept a Jury Rig in the opening hand, but it doesn't seem like the other card was a cheap unit that could have discarded it based on their earlier plays. Weirdly enough. I think I should have blocked the 4/4 Lulu with flame chompers here, as it would be preventing a good amount of damage. Keeping Daring Pourer alive is good because it's good elusive damage, especially if I get a card that buffs it later down the line. Or even block a buffed elusive from the opponent. After their attack, Scrap Heap discarding Daring Pourer would have been a better play to use my mana more efficiently. Compared to Squeaker, just in case I picked a Mecha Yordle that was over 3 mana. Professor Von Mech is a goated Mecha Yordle for this situation. It gives me discard fodder or cards that I could possibly use on attack. It's better than Shadow Tech Walker because the enemy deck runs 3 Pourer cannons and they haven't used one as yet. Von Mech gave me some good cards here. I would discard the Undying every time since it can't block and starts as a 3 mana 2/2. Bitsy Lizard is actually pretty good. But I don't want to play it on this attack turn. Zornite Urchin is literally a card we run as a 3 of in the deck already. KW. The best line for this turn would be playing Pourer Cannon on Undying for 3 elusives on board. This would let me get 3 elusives on attack. To let me get 4 damage on the opponent if unpunished. I have a Get Excited, so that is 3 damage. Leaving them with 2 health that are Jinx, Get Excited or Bandled Tellstones could easily fly away with. Pulling their Flame Chompers was a bad idea here, because I wanted to trade so that I could have prevented a good Lulu challenge later. They should have whimsied the Daring Pourer there, so that they take less damage and prevent me from buffing it later with the Biggle Dusts or Tellstones that I have not used yet. The use of Whimsy shows me that the cards they kept in their opening hand were Jury Rig and Lulu, which is weird. Pretty cool that we could have actually predicted that the other card was likely to be a Lulu during this game. Going into the next round, we know that their cards in hand are either 2 tiny shields, spears, or a combination with what they just drew. This is a bad use of tiny shields. What if they need discard fodder or draw into rummage next turn? It's kinda like my misplay with tiny spears earlier, lol. And we end this TED Talk with a spicy Jinx play that levels her on burst speed. Here are some of the main takeaways from the VOD review. Shout out to Team Keg Gaming for helping me with this VOD review in their Discord. I'm planning to make a gameplay video for this deck versus Noruvegar in the near future. Comment, like and subscribe for more in-depth Legends of Runterra videos just like this.